Hello guys, I'm here with chapter 7 of What If Goku and Broly Merged. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Broly stared right at Cell, before suddenly flashing in front of the green bug and smashing his fist in Cell's face. Kaioken X5 is the max I can go. I can keep it up for about 15 minutes. Hopefully I'll beat him by then or else I'll lose, thought Broly. He had no illusion of his own power. He knew that Cell was more powerful than him if this was truly only half of his power. But Cell made a mistake not going all out from the start. I'll take him out before he can go full power. Broly appeared behind Cell and smashed his giant fist into Cell's spine. Cell let out a gasp before spinning and smashing his knee into Broly just as he appeared behind him again. Broly coughed up some blood, but smirked as he suddenly teleported behind Cell and yelled Brokoro Barrage, smashing thousands of fists into Cell from various angles at speeds double that of normal. He could only hold it up for 5 seconds, but the barrage was devastating. Cell was shocked at how powerful Broly was. He's stronger than half my power. Impressive. But if he thinks he'll win with power alone, he has another thing coming. Cell recovered and grabbed Broly's fist midair before he threw the giant to the ground, smashing his face on the surface of the earth. Cell went on to drag Broly across the earth, his face leaving a deep trench in the ground. Broly screamed and shot out a shock wave before rising up and glaring at Cell. Cell just laughed as he charged Broly and the two superpowers exchanged a series of blows. Seconds. Then minutes went by as Broly landed blow after blow against Cell that seemed to have little effect. I can't keep this up. Cell is stronger than me, my body can't take the Kaioken much longer, and Cell is still only at half of his power. There must be something I can do. As Broly and Cell landed a blow at the same time, smashing both their faces and sending them both flying in opposite directions, Broly made a plan. If I pour all my energy into it, temporarily increase my Kaioken and surprise him with instant transmission, I might be able to take him out in one blow, thought Broly. As Cell recovered and flew back towards Broly smiled. Ha ha ha, I see that your Saiyan blood is taking great pleasure in our little bout, Broly. I'm glad I've been able to provide you with such amusement, but if this is all your planet has to offer, then I'm sorry to tell you, you cannot defeat me, said Cell. Broly looked at Cell and smirked. Oh yeah? Then why don't you try not dodging this then? Mr. Perfect. Cell just raised an eyebrow in curiosity before a look of shock came on his face. Super Kamehameha giant blast, greater than any Broly would be able to produce otherwise. A Super Kamehameha provided double the energy output at cost of stability and the ability to control the wave and direct it. At a Kaioken X6 with a power level of about 1.6 billion after the tiring bout, Broly's Kamehameha reached over 4 billion inches power and was still rising. Ha, do you take me for a fool, Broly? If you shoot that thing, you'll destroy the entire planet, Cell said, secretly powering up to maximum just in case Broly was crazy enough to fire. Broly smirked before he suddenly disappeared, causing Cell to become shocked before he looked behind him and saw Broly smile for a split second before he pushed his hands forward. Cell didn't have time to react. He was barely able to put a shield around himself as the overpowered Super Kamehameha smashed into him. The blast quickly pierced his shield and began taking Cell apart. Eventually only a single cell remained, but before it could also be destroyed, Broly released the blast, not knowing of Cell's regenerative abilities. Finally, I was actually worried I'd have to do something really drastic to win that. Broly smiled as Trunks, Campo and appeared. It's done, everyone is safe, I defeated Cell. Everyone looked at Broly in awe. They felt the amount of energy given off in that blast, not to mention how powerful Cell was. The doctor especially looked in awe at his king, who had defeated his greatest android. Broly took a Senzu bean out of his pouch and quickly consumed it, returning to full power with a minor Zenkai boost. As Broly smiled at his children, his smile suddenly turned to a frown before a look of horror came upon his face as suddenly, a fully healed Cell had appeared at blazing speed behind him. Cell simply smirked, before he began to cackle, which turned into full-blown laughter. Did you think that would defeat me? I can recover from even one single intact cell, and like Saiyans I get a Zenkai boost. Truly the doctor is a genius. Hello father, said Cell. Dr. Garo looked at Cell in astonishment. This was his greatest creation, standing before him in all his perfection. But still, Cell didn't need to destroy Brokarat. He now served the king, but would Cell even obey him? Cell, my son, you truly are a work of perfection, but I must command you to stop this. I now serve the king, there is no need for you to kill him anymore. Your new purpose is to protect the earth, do you understand me, Cell? Said Dr. Garo. Cell immediately stopped laughing. Protect the earth? He is made to be a killer, to destroy Goku and the Z fighters if they somehow were able to defeat Android 17 and 18 or hold up against them. And now his father wanted him to serve Goku? To protect the earth. Cell scoffed at the idea. Truly, his father has lost his mind. I was made with the purpose of killing Goku, and I will complete that purpose, destroy this planet and move on to rule the universe. It is clear to me that you are no longer the doctor that made me. And for the sake of your memory I will kill you, said Cell, and before anyone could react a hole appeared in the doctor's brain, causing him to collapse dead. Goku was shocked. How could Cell kill his father so easily? What can you expect of someone with the genes of Frieza and his disgusting family, thought Brokarat. Cell looked at the angry king before smirking once again. Ah yes, as I was saying, your blast did not kill me, but it was very painful. I think a punishment is in order, said Cell as he began to look at Brokarat's children, causing Brokarat's eyes to widen. But once again, before he could even move, Cell appeared behind Trunks, and before the young Demi Saiyan was able to register, Cell had snapped his neck. Brokarat looked on in horror. Trunks, and in a rage roared in him as Brokarat began to shake. Cell simply smiled at the angry Saiyan before disappearing and appearing behind his other son, Campo. Campo quickly turned and tried to blast Cell. Cell ignored the blast, and after Campo was done he said, "Let me show you how it's done." Cell raised his hand and released a massive blast that completely destroyed Campo, leaving not even ashes behind. Brokarat was about to move to save his last son, yet in what seemed to be a mere second he was also dead. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Brokarat roared in fury as the entire planet began to shake. Cell simply looked on in amusement, confident that no matter what power Goku summoned he would be immortal against it. Brokarat's eyes rolled into his skull as a furious golden aura surrounded him, his hair flickering in and out of a deep golden color before Brokarat screamed so loudly that everyone in a 100-mile radius heard it. Poosh. Brokarat's aura solidified, his hair turned gold, his eyes turned teal. But he didn't stop. Brokarat's hair began to change color again, turning a golden green as he seemingly grew a foot in size and his already massive muscles expanded. Cell's eyes widened in horror. This power, what have I done? Is this the legendary Super Saiyan from Frieza's memories, thought Cell. The fear Frieza felt for the transformation transferring onto him as an enormous aura exploded from Brokarat, making a massive crater miles wide before everything stilled suddenly. Brokarat stood still, head down as he breathed in and out. Everything was extremely quiet. The only sound was the minor aura around Brokarat. Seconds went by before Brokarat looked up at Cell, and in that moment, Cell knew that he would die. Thing. Brokarat fist smashed through Cell. Pash. Cell's head was smashed into the ground. POV. TA. Ka. Cell was dominated, hit after hit, each more devastating than the last. Cell was in extreme pain. No matter what he did, he couldn't stop Brokarat's assault. He couldn't even speak a word. "Die!" yelled the legendary Saiyan as he grabbed Cell's throat, and in a massive display of feralism he bit Cell's head off and tore his limbs from his torso. Cell's pain was terrible, but it would not end as Brockert threw him to the ground, where his regeneration against his own will put his body back together, and Cell received another beating. This wasn't a fight, it was torture. Minutes went by as Cell was torn to pieces again and again, smashed, bashed, bit, torn apart, endless pain. But all things come to an end. Brockert, after what seemed like an entire hour, stopped. He let Cell regenerate. Cell immediately began to beg, "Please. Please just kill me, no more, please." Brockert just looked at Cell before he laughed, pathetic. "Let me show you true perfection." Brockert, without regard to the earth, created a massive blast that shot down at Cell and pushed him deeper and deeper into the earth as it destroyed him bit by bit. Cell accepted the sweet relief of death as his final cell reached the core of the earth and disintegrated in its heat. Brockert, retaining some sense thanks to Guru, stopped his attack just 100 meters before it would hit the core of the planet. With great power he dragged his attack from the earth before he threw it with massive force to outer space, where it eventually exploded in a massive display of light. Even though the earth is indestructible, that does not mean its surface and environment cannot be destroyed, thought Brockert. Cell was dead, and the monster known as the legendary Super Saiyan had been born. 1 week later. A week had passed since the death of Cell. Even though the planet was protected by the wish on the Namekian Dragon Balls, Brockert was cautious. So when the Dragon Balls were summoned, he made his 3 wishes. "I wish that all those who have died by the hands of Cell and the androids were brought back to life, and those who I love brought to me." Campo, Trunks, and appeared 16 was being repaired by Bulma and upgraded, so he wasn't alive yet. Dad, Campo and Trunks hugged their father, who smiled at them before nodded and speaking to the dragon once again. "I wish that all damage to planet Earth done by time, humanity, or anything else was repaired." "Your wish has been granted." The entire Earth was repaired, natural resources restocked, pollution completely erased. Forests revived, even the very air changed, making it contain more oxygen, leading people to become more awake and have more stamina due to the increase in oxygen. "What is your last wish, I wish to learn to train my powers with the one best suited to teach me." Shenron was silent for a moment. "Your wish has been granted," and suddenly before them appeared a purple-skinned man with a white mohawk. The Supreme Kai blinked in surprise. Where was he? And how did he appear here so suddenly? Before anyone could speak, a red-skinned man with long white hair appeared in front of the Supreme Kai using instant movement. "Who are you mortals, and what do you want with the Supreme Kai?" "The Supreme Kai," said Brockert in surprise. He knew of the Kais all the way to the Grand Kai, but he had never heard of the Supreme Kai. "I humbly apologize for any trouble I may have caused you. You see, I used the Dragon Balls to wish for a mentor to help teach me to control my powers. I am a Saiyan, and recently I have unlocked a powerful transformation that increases my power 100-fold, while in consequence, increases my rage and lowers my self-control. I wished for someone to teach me to control my power, and I would be greatly honored if you were to teach me." Supreme Kai said Brockert. The Supreme Kai looked astonished. He had been asked by the Eternal Dragon if he agreed to be transported, but still, it was surprising that the dragon felt that he was best suited to teaching this Saiyan, especially when he was busy searching for Babidi. Before he could speak, however, Kibito spoke first. "You? A mortal be trained by the Supreme Kai? How arrogant are you! To think you have the power to even summon him is unfathomable. We are too busy trying to destroy a threat to the entire universe to train you. And even if we weren't, what makes you think you are worthy?" said Kibito. Brockert was always wise for his age. Being trained by and becoming the guardian of Earth and a natural genius made that a given. So when he heard Kibito, he knew exactly how he would respond. I am Brockeret, the legendary Super Saiyan. I defeated Frieza before I even transformed. I am 4 times stronger than I was when I defeated Frieza. With my transformation I am 400 times stronger than Frieza. And I only grow in strength every day. Whatever threat you desire to destroy, I can assist with. I am the guardian of Earth, a friend to King Yema, a student of King Kai. I have saved this planet and the universe from countless threats. I am the Saiyan of legend. If I am not worthy of being trained by the Supreme Kai, I don't think anyone ever will be, said Brockeret. Astonishment came upon the face of Shin. 400 times stronger than Frieza? The Grand Supreme Kai was only 1000 times stronger than Frieza. Does that mean Brockeret was half as strong as the Grand Supreme Kai? Kibito was very skeptical. He had quite a bias towards mortals as he had seen them do horrific things. But he decided to give this one a chance. He spoke with a respectful tone and his credentials were certainly impressive. If you speak the truth, power up to your maximum. Brockeret looked at Kibito before nodding. They were in the middle of nowhere, so there was no worry of collateral damage. Campo and Trunks looked on in great interest. They felt their father's power from other world, but to see it up close would truly be amazing. Garo also looked on, no expression on his face. Brockeret didn't make a single sound as suddenly a crater surrounded him as he transformed into a normal Super Saiyan. He had mastered this transformation in the week between gathering the Dragon Balls. He made sure to stay transformed for the entire week, mastering the minor rage compared to his legendary transformation relatively quickly. It was this next transformation that would take effort. As Brockeret gathered energy around him, he began to transform. Kibito and Senzu were astonished as the entire planet began to shake from the power being unleashed. If he learns to control this power, he may be able to defeat even Majin Buu. But this rage puts him at risk against Babidi, thought Shin. As Brockeret finally finished his transformation into a legendary Super Saiyan, Shin and Kibito looked on in awe. Legendary was truly a fitting title for this transformation. Brockeret practically glowed with power, his hair having a beautiful green shine. Were it not for the anger on his face, he would have looked like a handsome angel. Amazing, thought Shin. Shin spoke, you are truthful, your power is certainly impressive. I will train you, but I do not have the time right now. I must find Babidi before he releases Majin Buu, but after I defeat him, I will make you my apprentice. Your power is too great to be ignored, yet you are too pure to be treated as a threat, said Shin. Brockeret smiled and said, time isn't a problem. We have a door to another dimension where time flows differently. A day here is a year in there. Why not train with me there, so that in case this Majin Buu is released I can defeat him. A room to another dimension, Dragon Balls, legendary Saiyans? Truly this planet holds many great things. An entire year is not but a blink of an eye for a Kai. Yes, I will train you, said Shin. Brockeret smiled. Before turning to his sons, I have outfitted the chamber with new rooms. It can fit more than 10 people now. Campo and Trunks, you will join us in our training. You may be unable to transform into a Super Saiyan, but that is no reason not to try. Campo and Trunks looked at each other before nodding as they all grabbed their father's hand, as did Kibito and Senzu. They teleported to the lookout, surprising Mr. Popo. Mr. Popo, we are entering the time chamber for 2 years. Stock enough food for 3 Saiyans and 2 humans. I know the Kais do not need food, but I'm sure it'll be nice to eat every now and then. Shin and Kibito nodded. An hour later, the chamber was ready and the 3 Saiyans, the Kai and Kibito all entered the chamber. 2 days later, out of the chamber stepped 3 Saiyans. Campo and Trunks were both significantly taller, their body rippled with muscles as hard as diamond. Goku had even grown a single inch taller, only adding to his fearsome height. He was a bit more muscular, but his power had grown tremendously, his skills truly refined. He had learned how to heal from Kibito, how to use instant movement, how to sense across the universe, how to use the ancient Kai's taijutsu style. He had learned how to control his energy, and Kibito had gone a step further, refining the Saiyan's body and increasing their brain's functionality, their muscles' density and their bones, using millennia of knowledge and his healing powers. The most changed, however, was the Supreme Kai. He had impressively grown 2 feet taller. He had not eaten much in his life and thus had not realized that his body would continue to grow if he provided it with nutrients. Something the other Kais couldn't teach him, as they died prematurely and were unable to complete his training. He had grown to an impressive 6 feet. His body rippled with muscles. His hair grown out in a style similar to Campo. Brockhardt had mastered his legendary Super Saiyan transformation. He had even hit a barrier and reached a new level which he called SSJ2. He however did not transform to LSSJ2 yet. Brockhardt and even Kibito were sure of Brockhardt's ability to destroy Majin Buu, but Shin had his doubts. Majin Buu was weaker than East Kai, but he overpowered him and absorbed him. Majin Buu was very adaptable, and if he somehow absorbed Brockhardt, or even both his sons, he didn't think anyone could stop him. Brockhardt, we must not allow Majin Buu to be released, and if somehow against all odds he is, you must destroy him immediately. No games. If he absorbs you, catches you off guard, then the rest of us are doomed. I understand, Master Shin, do not worry. I'll be careful. If and when Babidi comes to Earth, the planet where you left the sealed Buu, he will have quite the surprise waiting for him, said Brockhardt. Campo and Trunks had also unlocked the Super Saiyan transformation. However, it seemed that they were unable to reach the status of legendary. Confirming to Brockhardt the knowledge he had gained on the Saiyan race from the wish he made on the Dragon Balls all those years ago. They had mastered it completely but were unable to go beyond as of yet. Sadly, not all was perfect, as unknown to the 5 warriors. A certain demon had come to rescan the Earth. They had planned to come to unleash Majin Buu in 7 years. They would have come sooner, but they wanted to shake the Supreme Kai and gather a few more minions to help gather energy for Buu's revival. It was in that moment that he realized that the planet Earth contained powers that rivaled some of their more powerful minions. As he returned to Babidi with the information, a plan of action was made. They would gather the energy for Majin Buu from other planets, before releasing him secretly. This way they had no need to worry of interference from the planet's inhabitants. Yes, Majin Buu would be reborn, and no one would stop them.